Hello, welcome to your Teledoctor show and also the Think Talk podcast, which I host, and we've been talking about several stories, and the issue really is to have several of your questions answered, but also issues of life, to have a platform where you can bring these issues and we discuss them. And we started an episode on retirement where Mafipe defined what retirement is, and then it has to do with how circumstances change because your income also changes. So how ready are you? And today I want us to focus on the challenges that most retired people face.
Think Talk with Professor Wilbrod.
Mafipe, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming back again to this show. Hopefully you're not getting tired of us because the people of Zambia need us.
They need us.
Globally as well to discuss these matters. So we talked about retirement, defined it, but today I want us to go and be practical. What are the things that you have seen in your experience as a financial advisor, as an accountant? What are the challenges that retired people face after they retire?
Okay, I think the challenges seem to fall into two main areas. One is psychological and the other is financial.
Okay.
On the psychological side, in your career you progress, you gain importance, you oversee people, and then when you're told that you're retired, it's come to an end.
Yeah.
So is it that you were important yesterday and today you're not? What's happened? Where do you fit in society? What do I do when I wake up until I go to bed?
Suddenly there's so much time.
Because at that point you've had maybe 30 years, 40 years of consistency. You get up, you go to work, there's work specifically that you do, outputs that come out, you're paid at the end of the month. And what happens when you retire is that entire system is overturned. And what you are spending your time on may or may not be generating income, particularly to the level of income you had before. It's very rare. So there's an adjustment that needs to happen immediately.
Okay, that's your psychological side. What about the financial side, some of the things?
The financial side, the unusual thing about income is usually that if you're in a job, particularly one that is stable, you will be earning more money every year. So you've gone through 40 years
of good income.
Fixed income, and then it stops. Typically, when a person retires, they're given 3 years worth of their pay as a lump sum to exit, but they'll continue to live for another 30 years. So there's a transition that needs to take place. Most people only accept the transition at the point when the money has run out. Typically 18 to 24 months after they leave employment.
That's a challenge.
Yeah. And it has nothing to do with the amount of money that you're given. It's to do with your normal expenditure and your lifestyle at that point, what you're spending money on. You see, you've been conditioned to say you'll be earning more money all the time, so you can afford to spend what you have now.
And it will come back.
That's the general psychology, and then it doesn't come back in retirement. It's a last chance to make your final investments.
So, what's your advice there?
Sure. I think the best advice is to start planning for retirement very early on. That day when you retire, you will face a transition of reduced income. You could actually train yourself before you retire to face that. I remember when I was planning to leave work, I tried to say to myself, okay, let me imagine I wasn't working. I'm not going to use the bank account. How long will I survive? Because that's
some experiment.
An experiment. You can do that at no cost. An experiment. If I wasn't working, how would my decisions be different? Will I buy this? Will I invest in that? You can't assume your income will continue indefinitely. So you need to start weaning yourself off that monthly income. Because the only way you'll get it is either through employment or investments or a business. So if you need that to transition from one to the other.
Excellent. Mafipe, I'll call you again because there's one more question I want you to answer in our next episode. Thank you so much. All right, so for you viewers, we have been discussing retirement, and some of the challenges that we have heard is that psychologically most people are not ready, and that's a disaster. We have heard of people going to the village, committing suicide, or they just die soon after retirement. So starting to prepare early is the solution. But I want us to move into the next episode so that I can talk a little bit with Mafipe on the practical things you need to do as a retiree, or would be in any case all of us are retiring. So hopefully you join me in the next episode. This is Professor Mutale, and this is your Think Talk. Bye for now.
Think Talk with Professor Wilbrod.